everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back. Today I would like to share with you some books that I recommend that are on the shorter side. These are books that are under 300 pages. I find that summertime beach reads, maybe you take a book on vacation, it's really fun to pick up a book that's not too long, that's not a huge commitment, and you can maybe read in a day or on a weekend getaway, that kind of thing. And these books are still all very good, even though they're short. They still are recommendations for me, and they still packed a punch, and I still remember them for the most part. And I just think it would be fun to recommend some of these shorter books to you. We have some historical fiction, a romance, and then some mystery thrillers in this stack. So let's just get started. We're going to start with The Arrangement by Kiersten Modglin. I don't have a copy of this. It's on my Kindle, so I'll post a picture right here for you guys. But this one is filled with so many twists and turns. You're following a couple, a husband and wife. Their marriage is kind of at the breaking point. So they come up with this plan to date other people. They can go on one date every week, and the only rule is that they will not talk about what happened on the date. So this book, something happens on one of these dates, they break the rule, and they share with each other what happened on this date, and you follow the story from there. Who is lying? Who's telling the truth? Is their marriage going to make it? Is it not going to make it? I won't say any more, but that one was a good, fast page turner. Next one is The Girl He Used to Know by Tracey Garvis Graves. This is a romance. She is an author that I have read before this book and really loved it. But this one we're following Annika. She has a relationship in college. They kind of break up and they find each other later in life, and you pick up from there. She's very unique. She is a little bit quirky, a little odd, so making friendships and relationships are a little bit of a challenge for her. And yeah, second chance romance. I won't say any more. Next one is historical fiction, Dear Mrs. Bird by A.G. Pierce. This is World War II. We are following someone who is trying to become a war correspondent, and through this job she ends up kind of writing an advice column. And so she's writing to these other women that are left at home while this war is raging on. It says, Dear Mrs. Bird is an irresistible love letter to the enduring power of friendship, the kindness of strangers, and the courage of ordinary people in extraordinary times. I haven't read this one yet. There's also a sequel, I believe, but it's nice and short, and I've heard great things. So there's that one. Next up is The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engle. I believe she has written young adult and adult titles. This is definitely adult. It's got some darker themes in here. It's kind of a really cool cover too. I like this cover. So we're following Lane. She's a 15-year-old. Her mother dies by suicide, so trigger warnings for that. So she moves in with her grandparents and her cousin Allegra in rural Kansas. Lane knows little about her mother's mysterious family, but she kind of just moves in. She's unraveling family secrets that I won't get into, and there's that. So then 11 years later in the future, Lane is living in Los Angeles, living her life, and her grandfather calls her to tell her that Allegra, her close cousin that grew up together, that she's gone missing. So she goes back home to try to help find Allegra. That's all I will say. This one does have some trigger warnings. This one's a little bit dark. If you may want to look up the trigger warnings on this. I won't say any more because they are kind of spoilery. But that's another short one that was good. Couldn't put down. We have The Orphan Train, which I don't have a copy of, or I can't find my copy of. This is by Christina Baker Klein. This one's World War, is it World War II fiction? I can't remember, but this one we're following an Irish immigrant who is orphaned in New York City, and she is put on this orphan train. So you're following her story. You're also following in present day a girl who's 17. She is in and out of foster care. She's coming up to her birthday, 18th birthday, where she's going to be taken out of foster care. So she's trying to be on her best behavior, get her life on track, stay out of trouble. And so she decides to help out Vivian, who has an ad in the paper needing help. So she goes and helps Vivian out cleaning out her attic, and they unravel a trunk full of secrets. And as the two become unlikely friends, they both kind of dig into each other's past, look at themselves, and discover things about themselves. And it was a beautiful story. Heartbreaking, but it was great. Okay, I'm losing light, so I'll try to hurry. The next one is The Patient by Jasper Dewitt. This is an art copy. The cover looks like that. There you go. And this one was short. I think I read it in one sitting, if I remember correctly. I read it a few years ago. I recommend reading this at Halloween in the fall. If you like to get all the spooky feels, this one gave me the creeps for sure. You're following a young, ambitious psychologist named Parker. He goes to work in a mental asylum and take on this notorious patient. This patient has been in this asylum since he was 6. He is now 40. Multiple doctors have been just completely boggled by what the heck is going on with him. I won't go into detail there. And as he tries to take on this patient, he is forced to look into his past, look deeply into himself. I love the ending of this. I don't want to say anything more, but this one was very creepy. Last but not least, we have The Wicked Sister. Here's a picture of that one because I could not find my copy. This one is another thriller with a little bit of a horror twist, if you will. But most of the setting takes place in the woods, and the author did such a great job of making these woods feel beautiful and inviting, and at the same time feel absolutely terrifying. So you're following 2 generations of sisters. You're following Rachel, who believes she's responsible for her parents' death, and so she checks herself into a psychiatric hospital. And so she's coming now out of the psychiatric hospital, and she moves back home trying to figure out more details about what happened with her parents' death. Her sister has lived there the whole time. They have a very unique and twisted relationship as well, which I won't get into because it would spoil the book for you. But very creepy. I don't hear a lot of people talk about that. She also wrote The Marsh King's Daughter. That one is more popular, more well known. I think a movie was even made about it that I have not seen. I have to look into that. But this one was really good. I feel like this one's underhyped and no one talks about this. So pick that up. So there you go. Those are some really highly recommended books that are under 300 pages. You could grab, take away for a sitting to a weekend vacation. I hope some of these sound good. Let me know, have you read these? What are your thoughts? And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for taking time out of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.